Hey everybody, welcome to my RV7 / Pete and Pole Air Camper YouTube channel. I've been trying to make this intro video now for probably a half hour, and I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet and to the point. The reason I'm making these videos is because one, I like to build, and two, I really enjoy helping other people. So these videos will show you how I am building my airplane. Now, I'm not saying that I'm an expert, because I'm not, and I'm not saying that the way that I've built my airplane is the way that you should build yours. These are just for entertainment purposes. Maybe when you watch these, it will spark some ideas in your own mind on ways that you want to build your airplane. The other reason I'm making these videos is because I need help building my RV7. I can build the airplane myself. Financially, it would take a very long time to do it. I would rather not wait a very long time, because I want to use this airplane as a platform to travel around the country and help other people with their aircraft projects or with their aircraft maintenance. So in order for me to do that, I've set up a GoFundMe page and an Amazon wish list, and those links will be in the description of all of these RV videos. So if you feel moved enough when you watch these videos, if they've helped you and you feel motivated in return to help me, I'd appreciate your donation or your purchases from the wish list. So that's it. That's the mission of the airplane. Like I said, I'd like to use it as a platform to travel to people. They can reach out to me and say, hey, I'm building an RV whatever, I'm building a Pete and Pole air camper, I'm building a Stoll type airplane, I have a certified airplane that I need some help with, whatever it is. I would like to be able to fly to their shop, to their hangar, and be with them real time, hands-on, and try to help them as best I can. I might not be able to help. Maybe I show up and the only thing that I can do is help you move a wing from one side of the shop to the other. I'm okay with that. So that's the idea. And as a little thank you, as little as it is, this is an RV7 elevator skin, and if you make a donation or you purchase something from my wish list, I'd like to add your name to this skin, and ultimately, hopefully, I'll have it full of names, and those names and the skin will be mounted at my hangar, what I call a wall of honor, just as a little recognition that these people were nice enough to help me with my project. So that's it. Again, these are the RV7 videos. You might be interested in checking out my Pete and Pole air camper videos as well. But that's it. All right, that's enough yip yap for now. I say we get to building some RVs. I'm getting ready to match drill the skins to the ribs. I just want to take a moment to talk about a couple things. First of all, you will notice that obviously the wing is not in any kind of a jig. The instructions state, at least for the RV7, which this is, the instructions state that a jig is not necessary. You can build a jig to make it easier to fabricate the wing, but it is not required for any kind of alignment or twisting type of purposes. So I have built my left wing already without a jig, and it came out absolutely fine. There's no twisting or warping of any kind, and I'm going to follow suit with this right wing as well. So for now, it's just sitting on my workbench. I have the ribs. Well, first of all, let me go back here. I have the spar, obviously has been drilled and finished. I have not videotaped any of that. I just have still photographs. But the spar is done, and I've got the blue tape on it to keep the metal shavings from getting into areas that they shouldn't be. I have the ribs clecoed in place, and I have the skins clecoed as well, both bottom skins and top skins. Now what I like to do I believe at this point the ribs should be riveted to the spar, which I have not done. I like to do the match drilling first. I like to match drill the ribs to the skins first, and then I can take the ribs off of the spar to do the deburring of the holes and to do the dimpling. I believe it would be a little bit more difficult if the ribs were riveted to the spar and then you match drilled, and then you'd have to come back with them attached to the spar and do the deburring of all the holes, and then trying to dimple all of those when they're riveted in place. So I just choose to assemble it all together as is with Clecos, match drill, and then deburr and dimple. So that's what I'm getting ready to do now. I'm going to do all the skins top and bottom, and then I'll do a little bit of disassembly and do the deburring and the dimpling of the ribs. Alright, real quick. So I went ahead and I removed the clamps down this edge, not all of them, but a decent amount of them along this edge, just so this rib, wow, that is pretty stiff, just so this rib can kind of move around and relocate that hole that was match drilled earlier. So I went ahead and ran my drill through this skin hole here, and it did in fact create the hole in the wing walk, and it came through and it matched perfectly with the hole on the rib itself. So now I'll put a Cleco through here, and then I'll come up and I'll do the next hole, put a Cleco in it, come up to the next hole, and I'll continue to do that. And if there is any misalignment with the rib, if the rib is misaligned going up, that should, one hole at a time, it should walk the rib into place where it needs to be. Alright, so that's what I'm going to try doing now. See what happens. I'm going to try to explain a little bit my process here. As you can see, I've got these first 3 ribs completed with the wing walk, and I've got this last row, this last rib here to do. So here's my thought process. The wing walk doubler is in place where I want it. It's even with the edge here, and then as viewed again from the back side, I have it so that the bottom edge of the wing walk doubler is in alignment with this bottom edge here of the ribs. So the bottom edge of the wing walk doubler is lined up with the bottom edge of the ribs, coming across here in line with this edge here of the rib. Once that's in place, these bottom 2 Clecos hold the rib to the spar with no wing walk doubler. The wing walk doubler doesn't start until this edge here. So these 2 Clecos hold the rib to the spar, and they also hold the skin to the spar. So these 2 Clecos here, these 2 for this rib, these 2 for this rib, these 2 for this rib, these 2 for this rib. So since this rib is being held in place with these 2 Clecos, the skin hole here needs to be drilled through. But since the rib is being held in place with these 2 Clecos here, I'm very confident that if I drill through this hole, I'll capture the hole in the rib, if that makes sense. So I'll drill through this hole first, since it's the closest one to an anchor point. So if I go through the skin hole and I drill the hole in the wing walk doubler, the drill bit should exit the hole in the rib. Now you wouldn't want to pin it here and then have it pinned up here somewhere, because if you try to drill one of these holes somewhere in the middle, if you didn't get your fluting right and that rib's got a little bit of a bow to it, if you drill through one of these holes, you may end up putting a second hole in the rib. Instead of going through the hole that's in the rib, you create another hole because the rib has got a bend to it. Again, if you pin one end and start at that end and walk your way through, if there is any kind of a curve to the rib, it should, one hole at a time, kind of bring that in and straighten it out for you. But again, if you've got the rib fluted correctly, that shouldn't be an issue to begin with. All right, that's probably as clear as mud, but hopefully you can make sense of it. So there's the finished product. I've got all the clecos in. The doubler is still in its correct location. This edge is nice and even here. I've got my edge across the bottom of the ribs here. And you can see, well, I don't know if you can with this camera, but all of the holes on the ribs are still intact and correct. I don't have any secondary holes drilled off to the side somewhere on the rib. So that tells me that I had my fluting nice and straight, because when I went through the outer skin hole to drill the wing walk hole, it came through the hole in the rib just as we would like it to. So all the rib holes are correct. The doubler is in. So now with everything match drilled, I got the skins match drilled to the spar and to the ribs. I've got the doubler match drilled to the skin and the ribs. I can go ahead and disassemble the entire wing. I can take each individual rib off completely and clean up all the holes, top side and inside, and dimple all of these. Same thing with the rear spar. I can, once it's stripped clean of all the ribs, I can go ahead and deburr the holes on this outside and the inside for the entire spar and dimple everything. And then once that's complete, I can come back and then install the ribs to the spar and do the riveting here to attach the ribs to the spar. So that's my method of doing it. It works for me. It might not be for everybody, but doing it this way does keep everything square and true. When you have the skins riveted or clecoed in place, they really do stiffen the entire assembly. So again, you just cleco the ribs to the spar, cleco the skins to the ribs, and then do your match drilling, fit your wing walk, match drill it, disassemble everything, and then it's cake to clean holes and dimple. Alrighty, moving on. Hey everybody, it's me again. I just wanted to say thanks for checking out my video. And like I said in the intro, if you find these videos helpful and useful and you're moved enough to want to in return help me with my project, my GoFundMe link and my Amazon wish list link is in the description of each of these videos. And again, if you do make a donation or a purchase, I'll add your name to this elevator skin, and it will be displayed on my wall of honor at my hangar. So that's it. Thanks for coming by. I really do appreciate the donations, and hopefully when this aircraft is finished, we can meet in person and I will be able to help you or anybody else who needs help with their project, and we'll see what happens. All right, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.